On April 20th, 2010, the Deepwater Horizon disaster changed the lives of millions living near the Gulf of Mexico, as well as the scientists who responded to the crisis. These are some of their stories, intimate portraits of research, innovation, discovery. Welcome, I'm Jim McNamee, editor of Dispatches from the Gulf, a series of documentaries, short videos, and podcasts. This week we'll hear from Dr. Tamay Özgökmen, a professor at the University of Miami who turned his interest in Star Trek into a career in oceanography.
My name is Tamay Özgökmen. I'm originally from Istanbul, Turkey, and I'm an engineer by training, but gradually became an oceanographer because it's very, very interesting. And the reason I got interested in science to begin with was because of the US space program and Star Trek original series.
To seek out new life and new civilizations. To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Star Trek, it was something like exploring the unknown, going where no man has gone before. That's the spirit. You don't really know what you're going to encounter. There's a lot of uncertainty, and science is the way to find out about things because it's very quantitative. You have equations, you have tools that can measure things accurately. We are trying to always push ourselves beyond some limits that we have already attained and get more information about the nature of the flows in the atmosphere and ocean, which are important for oil spills.
Even though Star Trek was eventually canceled, Professor Özgökmen went on to become a distinguished oceanographer with a career filled with what he calls Eureka Moments.
We have a lot of Eureka Moments. Science is a bit like meditation. You're most of the time by yourself or with a student or with a group of people getting together, and it's not like you discuss a lot of things. It's more like brainstorming. You put your brains together and try to figure things out, and when you make a little bit of advance discovery, it's usually a quick moment. Somebody says something, or you are walking on the beach or in the shower, and then you figure out something, and that's very powerful. And that opens up usually a new door that you need to explore for sometimes years.
We then asked Dr. Özgökmen why young students should consider a career in science.
Well, I think what is very, very interesting about science is it gives you tools in order to interpret what's going on around you in the natural environment. So there's a lot of questions that you can find through science. Of course, not all of the questions can be addressed through science because science is a very quantitative, it's essentially a series of quantitative tools, equations and models and computers that solve these equations. And it is valid for a number of things. For instance, one thing it's valid for is to calculate the atmospheric circulation and oceanic circulation. It makes you, I think, a more systematic thinker, more quantitative. You become essentially a systematic person who makes decisions in an organized fashion. That's probably the ultimate benefit of science, instead of a random fashion or emotion based on emotional arguments. Now you can compute things, calculate things, and make decisions based on numbers. It's not appealing to everybody, but I think that you need to know where you are in terms of what you're going to do, or what will be the result of an action that you take, instead of guessing it or speculating about it.
Today, thousands of scientists, oceanographers, chemists, engineers, biologists are all working together to develop newer and better ways to understand and ease the impact of oil spills. To learn more about their work, visit our webpage at dispatchesfromthegulf.com. Funding for this podcast was provided by a grant by the Gulf of Mexico Research Initiative. And thanks for listening.